In this installment for Ruth 1:6, we're going to begin after the Athnot, and we're going to read up to the Zakef. Ki Sham'a Biste Moav, for she had heard in the field of Moab. Now when we began Ruth 1:6, we had a string of 5 consecutive forms, but now the 5 consecutive chain is interrupted by this key clause. This key clause is explaining why Naomi returned from the fields of Moab. And she returned because she had heard in the field of Moab. And then later on we'll hear what she heard. Now let's look at this verb here, Sham'a. We have here the call, perfect, third feminine singular, and here's our root, to hear. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that we had a string of 5 consecutives, and these 5 consecutives put the imperfect into a past tense. So anytime you break that 5 consecutive chain and you want to continue putting verbs in past tense, we go back to the perfect. So here at the beginning of the verse, the author wanted to describe events in the past tense, so he used 5 consecutive, and so that put the verbs in the past tense. But then we have the key clause, which interrupts that chain, but he wants to continue to put verbs in the past tense, so we have to resume that with the perfect. And so that's why you see the change in the verbs that you see here. And the subject, again, is the implied third feminine singular pronoun, which again refers to Naomi, that we know that from context. And let's look at our last construct chain, Biste Moab, in the field of Moab. We had a similar construct chain in the last video from the fields of Moab, but let's take a note of a few things that we see here. First, I have the bait preposition, which is where I got the word in. And then anytime you add the bait preposition to a word that begins with a vocal schwa, you're going to get a hierik underneath that bait preposition. And the bait, being one of the begad kafat letters, you get a dagesh lene in that bait. And again, I want to refer you to my videos on the dagesh and the schwa under the Hebrew 101 link. And I go in a little more detail about those. Now, let's look at the ending of this noun. Just like we had up here, this is the word for field, sadeh. The first occurrence had the masculine plural construct ending. But in the second occurrence, we have the masculine singular construct in the field. And again, this is an irregular noun in its absolute form, or your vocabulary card form. It ends in segol he, and the masculine singular construct ending is sere he. And so again, I want to refer you to your lexicon for these irregular nouns. But I want you to notice that the first occurrence is plural and the second occurrence is singular in the field. And it's probably in the second occurrence talking about the exact field where Naomi lives. And again, it's in construct, and it's in construct with the following word Moab, and that construct relations where we get that word of, in the field of Moab. And so that concludes this video.